Well, Pops and I just wrapped up here at the Hills property. The food plot is trimmed, and I will be back in late August to seed and redo it, because Mother Nature's a pain in the butt, but that's what you have to deal with when you're hunting. So looks pretty good though. I'm gonna shorten it up a little bit, bring it in, not make it as big, and we're also planting something different than what we did last year, because last year we did radishes and this other mixed blend, but this time we're doing something a little bit different. And I'll talk to you guys more about that when we come back here, when I come back here at the Hills in late August. So step one's done. Step two will be here in a couple weeks. Well, it sure as hell does not look like what it did last year. Last year we had an actual tractor come down here and do this, but for what it's worth, we got enough of the dirt exposed. There's plenty of rain coming in later this afternoon and through the remainder of the weekend and early next week, to where I think the seed's not going to wash away, which is why I like to leave a little bit of grass, because it keeps that seed in that area. Now, there's a lot of native forage in this field, a lot of natural clover that the deer already feed on. I'm just kind of amping up this corner in front of our ground blind set like we did last year. This year we're doing a little bit different of a blend. We're doing something that is actually a no-till process. So the fact that there's dirt exposed, we're using a no-till blend. This should come in great. And like I said, a lot of this natural grass and some of the food plot from last year is actually still in corner sections of the plot, because I did not go as big. But there's enough exposed. I've got enough seed to cover the food plot. We're gonna go ahead and seed it. I might run over it one more time, and then we're gonna call it a quits, and that's the last step for the Hills property this year, and the season opens up next weekend. So super excited. Today it is August 28th. The season opens up September 4th here in the state of Kentucky. Not sure if I'll be out, but the food plot is almost done. Just got one more final step, and then the season will begin. So we'll go ahead and start seeding. be it right there, son. All right, so the last and final step for the Hills property was to do the food plot. Obviously, it doesn't look like much, but the 3 bags that we put out in this little plot is all a no-till blend. So as soon as it makes contact with that dirt, the rain that we're gonna get this evening, and then early next week, it should compact it down, get the seed growing. I put a little bit of fertilizer out there, and I just dragged it one more time. A lot of the seed is now in the dirt and covered, so this should turn out pretty well. In years past, before we even did the food plot last year, I would just come out and throw like a no plow blend on top, and it would come in stronger than the grass. But past couple years, we've actually used farming equipment to put the seed in. Last year's food plot was spectacular. I have no doubt that this food plot is going to do the exact same thing with a little bit of the native grass that the deer already feed on throughout this entire field. So should be pretty good. It's very hot, very humid, so I know it's going to rain today. And let's go check the other cameras. Let's get some corn out and let's get a move on. Well, I just got done doing my last and final walkthrough of the Hills property for the summer. Here in literally 2 days, the season opens up. It is September 2nd. Season in the state of Kentucky opens up September 4th. So we're just a couple days away from the opening day of deer season here in the state of Kentucky, and I cannot stress to you how excited I am for this year. A lot of big things happening between Kentucky and Ohio, and then I have my trip to Nebraska the first week of October. So all in all, it should be a phenomenal year. The food plot coming in great. A couple days ago, I was out here seeding it, tilling it up, and planting it. The process that I did this year was a lot different from years past. Now, I touched base on the food plot set in summer, and I talked to you guys a little bit about the frost that we had through spring turkey season and how it wiped out a lot of the natural browse in the area. So with this year going into the idea of the food plot, one, I didn't want to break the bank and plant some crazy blend like I did last year, because the food plot last year was phenomenal. We put a little bit of money into it, brought some actual farming equipment down here, tilled it up. It looked great, came in great, and the deer wanted nothing to do with it after about 4 inches of growth with the plants. They just quit browsing on it, and they didn't touch it for the rest of the year. And then in the springtime, it actually came back in because we didn't have any crazy snows, and it came in great. We were going to do a buffalo process, seed, and then knock down the stems once the stems were starting to die off. And we had this big game plan. Well, then the frost came through, killed the food plot, and also brought to mind a lot of the other things that I had to worry about, like the natural browse, the acorn trees in the Hills property. A lot of those trees got affected too by the springtime, not only from the frost though, but from the cicadas. So between the frost killing off a lot of the acorns as they were germinating, and then the cicadas grouping up on limbs and a lot of the limbs dying and stuff like that, the natural browse this year is going to be tough on the deer. Now, I knew I had to get some sort of food plot in to help spruce up this field bottom, which they already kill and browse on a ton down here. There's a lot of natural forage that they love throughout this field bottom, the turkeys and the deer, all of them. But what I do is I spruce up that corner because it's a funnel back there between a trail that takes you into the neighboring properties and then a trail that leads up to one of the bedding areas on the most northern portion of the property. So nice little set back there. We went over it with just a till, dissed it up as best I could. A lot of the natural grass, a lot of the grass and weeds were still in the field when I seeded it, but I'm not worried about it because I want that food plot to almost blend in, but have a little bit better of a variety of plants for them to browse on as compared to what naturally grows in this field. And all in all, it came in pretty great. I tilled it up and planted it Saturday, and then literally Monday through Wednesday, we had a perfect amount of rain that came through. It wasn't too much to wash the seed away. It was just enough to get the ground wet, get the seeds moist and in contact with dirt, and so far so good. It's already starting to germinate, and it's honestly shocking. I didn't think I was going to see that much growth already, so cannot wait to see what that turns into by late September as I'm getting ready to leave for Nebraska. Don't plan on hunting that set anytime soon because I like to hunt that during the rut. I like to hunt that during the first week of October. So all in all, everything's good. We got good food plot coming in. We got corn. There's quite a bit of acorns left up here at the hills. I don't have any idea what the other properties look like, but my end goal this year was to do as much as I possibly could keeping food here at the hills, because we already have water, we already have bedding, and if the other areas do not have as much natural browse as they normally do, a lot of these bucks will be moving around looking for those food sources, and we've got it here. So should be a pretty good year. I just finished up the final walkthrough. Everything looks good. I'll be back here Saturday morning up in that stand chasing does, unless I've got a shooter out of nowhere that showed up, because I don't have anything crazy on camera right now. A lot of younger bucks, but nothing good. So all is well. Season opens up in a couple of days. We're going to go down here to the other end of the field away from everything and sling a couple arrows, one to practice for opening day, and two just because I want to stay hot before Nebraska. So should be pretty good. I'm gonna get back in the truck and get down here, start shooting, and enjoy the evening, because it's a cool one, and we got a perfect weather front coming through for opening weekend. So all in all, everything is heading according to plan, which fingers crossed, but it's hunting, you never know. So all right, let's go shoot. I don't know how the audio is going to be while we're shooting, because I like to come to this corner of the property because it's kind of close to the road and just kind of drowns out the sound. So there's going to be cars passing by, but we'll make it work. Alright, I'm going to bring the target in just a little bit, because it's at 50 and I want to start at 40 today. Dead nuts at 40, damn, I'm good. And look who showed up. Holy cow. Felt good. I don't know where it's at.
And I put a stand up, corn out, and he was there already. In the winter, you know what I mean?
I wish it was like that here.
They don't find food like that quick?
Oh, I mean, they do, but it's a late season thing. I'm telling you. So I'll feed through the summer, which I don't know why I do it, because they don't come.
Yeah.
So I waste all this money. I mean, I feed the does, keeps the does here, keeps the does happy, but like, and it gives me something to chase in the early season. But well, I hate closing out videos like this, but I started shooting, and I had a buddy of mine show up who I hadn't seen in a long time, and we just got to talking, shooting, and just enjoying the moment. And sometimes conversations that are had between friends don't need to always be recorded, so I just set down the camera for the remainder of the evening. But everything is set. The season opens up literally here in a day. I've got tomorrow, and then I'll be hunting Saturday morning. So I cannot believe it's already here, but everything is set, ready to go. I'm gonna try and knock down a couple of does through September before I leave for Nebraska. And then when we come back, we'll be chasing antlers in Kentucky and Ohio. So season's here. I'm stoked. I cannot believe it. And yeah, not much to say. So, all right, guys. As always, be sure to hit the subscribe button if you are not already subscribed. If you're new to the channel, be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Always leave comments below on future content, anything that you might want to see. And then be sure to check out all my social media pages linked below. And I'll catch you guys later on the next episode of Andrew Bernard Outdoors.